We don't want to do the intro where we all walk in.
Nah.
It's pretty bad with all the cables, and then you got to like
and
shuffle
then I
back
need
in
to kind
there.
of fucking like crab step over.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny though.
it would be funny. Now forget about it. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 200th edition of Cinema Effect. Got to do this again. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by my fellow Hans Zimmer appreciator, Jaden.
Howdy. Do I look at you or the camera?
I don't know.
Nah, we ignore that. I think we engage with each other.
You would have thought we got this out of our system
Yeah,
last time.
probably should
I
have.
was like, oh,
yeah.
wow, there's cameras. It's actually pretty much exactly the same. And, of course, PTA's number one fanboy, Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Hello.
I can steer into your soul as I say it. Oh, man. All right.
Don't.
Shout out to the camera operators.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Andy.
Ben. Andy.
Shout out to you over there. Who else is it? Who'd you say?
Ben. I don't know.
Ben?
Yep.
Ben?
Assistant.
I don't know a Ben.
Mendelssohn.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, we
sure,
know him.
Sure.
Yeah.
We got him to be just behind the camera.
How could I forget? Ben Mendelsohn, friend of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Seven, which opened in the US on September 22nd, 1995. It was directed by David Fincher. And I think we said this is the 8th Fincher movie, unfortunately, not the 7th that we've done. Is that the conclusion we came to?
I mean, we can check.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said. That was the 8th.
You reckon it's 8?
Nah.
No?
7th?
I wish it was the 7th.
What? Oh, right.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
true.
That would be perfect. Let's find out. It is a crime mystery film, and the synopsis says, 2 detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. Jaden's going to be counting for a long time. I don't know.
No, it's 8th.
It's the 8th?
Yeah.
You got it
That's
that
crazy
quick?
that we've done it. That's...
I know. We're almost there,
doesn't seem
really.
right.
Okay. Anyway, I got to start with Jaden.
Yeah. I as soon as you started introing, I realized I should have thought about this more than I have. About articulating my
It's
thoughts.
fine.
I love this movie so very dearly. This was like, I think I was speaking about it with you guys. I don't know if I mentioned on the show, but this came in 2017, which was my year of film. That it was when I first watched this, and this came in a very strong week of just bangers after bangers. And like this was an instant classic for me. And I haven't watched it in quite a few years, so rewatching it again, like getting into that opening scene, it felt almost fresh, and I was really hoping that would kind of stick with me throughout the film. But a lot of familiarity did set in, but then like I think that fresh feeling came back for the climax, for that final. Probably from when they hop in the car
Definitely.
to that, and like it all felt almost new again, and that was very exciting for me.
How many times have you seen it?
This is my 4th watch.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Fitty, what do you think? How many times have you seen it?
7.
7, yeah. No, I think it's my 3rd watch, because I think I rewatched it like a few years ago, and then I think I saw it in high school, like Jaden. Yeah, I don't have as much of a history with this film, but I do really like it. I think it's got one of the best like uses of atmosphere and just like the environment, just the constant like rain of the city and the kind of griminess. It's a perfect like crime setting, and yeah, I don't know. It's really fucking. It's really. Shouldn't swear.
It's pretty good.
It's really great script and performances and shit. So it's a classic. It's a modern. Is it a modern classic or is it a classic?
Well, I mean, 30 years ago, is that modern?
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call that modern. No. I think it's old enough to be a classic. Just a classic. I mean, it's a deeper conversation. But how do we feel about the 7 being the V?
I mean, it's part of it. I don't know how long.
I hate it.
You hate it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like not remotely a V.
That's true.
Like, who thought you can just like do that for swap out any of the letters and say it's the 7 looks like an E. Like, what?
But maybe like it was meant to be like 7 and then spelled out 7 down the middle to make it like a cross to link with the religious themes. But it's just been condensed.
Maybe.
I'm just bullshitting.
I think the graphic designer for this movie brought it down a point for me, to be honest. Anyway, no, this is an awesome movie. I've seen it twice now, and I remembered surprisingly little of it. But obviously, like, know the whole ending, the biggest stuff that was going to happen. And so that was all great. But I don't know. This time I sort of enjoyed trying to analyse and dive into Somerset's arc more. And I sort of much more viewed him as the main character of the movie. He sort of feels like there's no narration in the movie, but he sort of feels like the narrator at times, especially when you get towards like that final scene, which is awesome as well. There were like little windows of time where it slowed down. But then there's always like, I don't know, usually it's like nothing like boring or anything, but then it's like, okay, the film sort of, you get a few scenes of some talking and stuff, and you get the whole dinner scene, which serves its purpose. And then like 10 minutes later, there's something sort of exciting or something, I don't know, gross usually, or disturbing, or both happening. They had me leading in again. But yeah, this was Fincher's breakout movie, right after, because he did this after Alien 3.
Yeah.
Which, what was it I read in the trivia, I didn't take it, but it was something like he said he'd rather die of colon cancer than make another movie after Alien 3 is what he thought. So it's crazy he came in and made this.
Wait, so was this before the game?
Yeah.
I think it must have been just like the game must have been next, and then Fight Club.
Yeah, I think so, because I think Fight Club was like 99.
Yeah, and the game was 97.
Yeah, around
Something
then.
like
Yeah, seems right.
So this was really it. Like, obviously, Alien 3 is what it is, but like this film is the kickstart of what we know Fincher to be to this day, which is awesome. What is the first thing, Jaden, when you think of Seven? What is the first scene that pops into your head?
I mean, obviously, like the what's in the box.
Is it the first thing?
Yeah,
okay,
it's the first thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to start from there, though?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Why not?
I think I knew this scene before I watched the movie because I think I saw it parodied or I saw it talked somewhere, and like when I heard it talked about, like I got the feeling that I got was that it was bad. Like I thought that like that whatever I saw that source was, I thought it was like mocking Pitt, and like I like saying it was overacted or whatever. So when I was watching this, I was kind of, not that I was gearing towards it, I didn't know it was from this film. But then once I recognized what it was, I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. But no, I think it's exceptional. I think like it's like, I don't know. I think Pitt does a fantastic job of conveying the pain through, I don't know, everything. His body motions, his kind of erraticness, and they're kind of, I don't know, like such a visible fucking back and forth in his actions.
Absolutely, the way the way he points the gun and points it it again, and
it's
absolutely.
so strong.
Yeah.
And all enhanced by like Howard Shore's score, which I'm going to say it right now. You guys are going to hate me, but I think this is Howard Shore's best work. Fuck Lord of the Rings. I think Howard, like, especially like the first thing that made me notice it was in that second scene, or whenever they go into the first murder, the gluttony murder. The score there is exceptional, and I was like, damn, Howard might be fucking, he might be doing pretty good stuff here. So but back to the ending scene. I think everything that happens there and the way it unfurls with like having the tension that was constantly rising and having this random fuck-ass van come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Just brilliantly put together, and I think just enhanced all by Pitt.
Totally, I agree. The thing about the scene is that, first of all, that when the van starts coming over and it's driving down the hill, and the score there is like edge of your seat stuff for sure. And then I don't know, like I wasn't. This time, like, so I watched the movie with Jake, who hadn't seen it before, and like the only thing he knew about it was what's in the box. Like, I think everyone he didn't know what was in the box, but like just the line and stuff. In the moment, this time, like I don't know, I wasn't. I was more focused on Pitt this time as well. Like I wasn't really that concerned. Like I know what's in the box. I wasn't that freaked. I wasn't like freaked out by it. That's like everyone knows that if you've seen it, obviously. So, I was focusing on Pitt, and I was focusing on how it was a really interesting parallel, an obvious one, but earlier in the film when is he going to bust open the door or not? And Freeman's trying to talk him out of it. That was set up for the end of the movie. Now, when you rewatch it and you realize that, it's like, oh, that whole, is he going to give into it or not? His rage to become wrath, as he does.
Become vengeance.
Become vengeance, indeed. it is pretty wild that like the murders become increasingly complex in terms of like this guy's plan. I mean, first of all, I've got to say, like John Doe was right about how everyone was going to like remember this. It felt kind of it felt kind of meta.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say something because right about his other point.
Oh no, but like when you were talking about everyone's going to remember this,
Yeah.
and like everyone's going to no one's going to in 2 weeks, no one's going to remember this, bro. And it's just like, you'll see when it all comes together in the end. You'll see, and he's like, it's crazy how right he was, like in pop culture in general.
Yeah. Well, that's where, like, some people say that John Doe is Fincher in this film, in the way he's like executing this like massive technical plan, and like that was like one of the lines that sold me on that idea, that theory that like John Doe is like a shoe-in for the director. But
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and they say it's like earlier on they're like they say it might just be like a crime of the week or not, but it's like yeah, that line made me sold on that theory. Yeah,
I see it too. I see it in like how hyper precise the movie is in just little moments when you get certain shots in the edit. Like what stuck out to me for no particular reason was it was Lust, right? When the chick got murdered by getting fucked with the big pole, and then they did the interviews after. With the two dudes there, right?
Yeah.
That one, I don't know. That one this time was like seeing the interview and the way the camera, because you know how they do that shot where it's like they're both in the two separate rooms, and then and then he inserted a shot. First of all, well, that was all masterfully done, and then they insert this shot of like the goddamn tape recording, like rolling. I don't know. There's just like little shots in it, and it just feels like I felt like when I was watching it, I'm like Fincher when he was constructing this was like John Doe. You know what I mean? He knew exactly what he was doing to create the scene. It was like fantastically put together. But the thing about, I don't know, I just find it funny how like elaborate the plan becomes to where it starts off at the start where it's just like John Doe just kills this fat dude for being fat.
Yeah.
Like that's how it starts.
Yeah.
And then by the end it's like, I'm gonna ship this box and then I'm gonna make him become Wrath. And what was he?
Envy.
He was Envy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like then he starts playing 4D chess.
Yeah.
It's like I appreciate how the plan evolved.
Well, that's why like the Lust killing always kind of was like the weakest one for me because it seemed like impersonal. It seemed like he had no real hand in it because it was obviously someone else enacting it on the victim. So, like talking about favorite and least favorite killing, like Lust has always been like a low point of the film for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Lust?
Yeah, the Lust murder has always been like the least interesting one for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cause you're saying because he made the other dude do it.
Yeah, because So it always felt like he was like a step back from it.
It's pretty brutal, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like
it's pretty terrible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's also like nothing in the scene for the detectives to really like pick up on,
True.
Because at that point he'd been accelerating the plan, At that point he already like locked in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you mean. I guess I just really liked the interview scene. The guy who was like having a heart attack. I was into that. What about the other killings? I feel like my standouts. What was Victor for? What was his sin?
Sloth.
He was Sloth. The guy who was left for a year.
Yeah, Sloth.
He was Sloth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my standout for sure. Just the makeup, which I read took 14 hours. And but that dude was like weighed nothing as well. He was like skinny as. And then you just apply that makeup on top. That was horrifying. So yeah, that was probably my standout. And the way when they got that scene afterwards and they go to the hospital and that doctor's like, "This is give or take the most suffering I've ever seen." Give or take. It's like that's a line that really tells you something about the world.
Yeah.
That this is all happening in right now. But yeah, that's probably my standard just for how disturbing it was. Was there any? You had Lust was your least favorite.
Well, I think and my favorite probably would be Greed because it's the opposite of Lust, where there's so much in the scene for the detectives to actually work.
Yeah, that's where they get the most.
There's the painting, there's the shit behind the painting, there's the eyes, there's those like that where they say the Greed is where they first link it. They see him being they see him praying or preaching, and that's what. But he says punishing, but then they find out it is preaching. You know,
Mm.
like there's so much to work from that scene. Like that's proper detective work. So I think that's like my favorite.
There's another one we haven't talked about, right? Somewhere. There's quite a quick one.
The
I think.
Pride.
Pride. Yeah, that was kind of a quick one.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Where she cuts off. She
Oh, yeah,
chooses
yeah.
to kill herself instead of
True.
having a life of nerves.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
I think it was probably Sloth. I think I was more attached to the kind of, the tense aspects and like the commentary aspects and the actual like process of, like solving the crime. I guess.
Mm.
Although like, the greed crime scene is like very cool, and the way the room is just kind of like this puzzle box kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like an
Where
escape
you
room.
have to like find the clue behind the painting or whatever. That was like,
Mm.
that was very memorable in terms of like a crime process kind of scene. But
Yeah.
no, I think Sloth takes the cake for just its disturbing nature and
Yeah. It was messed up for sure. Do you think Fincher's trying to say anything in terms of one thing that was kind of odd to me in that scene was how like the SWAT team kind of portrayed as like bros, as kind of like toxic.
Spooky wrote a great paragraph on this.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you going to get into that later? Like,
Nah.
do you have any thoughts?
I didn't take notes on that because like that was something he actually wrote well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
I took notes of things that I took issue with.
Sorry, Spooky. I didn't reread your essay. I don't know if I ever read it in the first place, to be totally honest. But like, what was his point about?
He was talking about how like,
because I noticed it too.
What was it? So he was talking about like the apathy that's created, like that exists within the detective department. That Somerset really is the only one that combats it, and he's talking about how like the rest of the police force have this hero complex, and he's like it's best exemplified in the SWAT team where like Somerset, even comments saying they love this stuff or whatever.
Yeah. They call each other dicks.
Yeah. So
all right, guys.
But Spooky, he good job on that one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, I that is related to that. That is totally true. Because I was going to ask like, what's that about? But then I of course noted how Somerset was like, basically trying to convince Brad Pitt throughout the movie that, you shouldn't dismiss these people. You shouldn't dismiss them because the whole movie. Mills is just like they're crazy, whatever. They're just losers, and bloody Somerset has some moments where he kind of acknowledges them and I don't know if he ever respects them. He like, I don't know. I think he respects their. Well, what did he say? He respects their like their commitment. He definitely talks about that where he's like, for someone to do this and to keep Sloth contained for a year and keep him alive, like that takes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he respects it, but he acknowledges it.
Right.
It takes dedication or whatever. Like,
exactly.
You can't dismiss them as insane for such a such a practiced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Respects is the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but definitely. I didn't ask you what is the first thing that comes to your head when you think of this movie? Because I know what's in the box is most people's answer, but I feel like you could actually go a few different ways.
Mine is more the opening, just like the the gluttony guy with the spaghetti, like with his head face down.
Yeah,
his face head down. I don't know.
That's probably mine too.
And like the opening, like that transition into the opening credits as well.
Oh yeah.
So really, that aesthetic is what I associate with the film the most. The kind of griminess at the start of the film.
Yeah. Do you like the opening credits? The track.
Yeah. Didn't Jane say it was like his favorite?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this question we asked. Probably fucking 180 episodes ago.
Yeah.
About best opening scenes, not best opening scenes, but like best intros.
Yeah.
7 was my answer.
You still bopped along to it? You liked it?
Still bopped along to it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I think seeing like what it's influenced as well, like because since watching like this the first time and then watching films like The Collector, or like I don't know, I can't remember shit off the top of my head, but I have a list of like cool intros. But then on that list of cool intros, a lot of those things are things that 7 has inspired, and like The Collector is like is the one that comes to mind first.
Yeah, that makes tons of sense. I mean, Alien 3 wouldn't have had like a cool credit sequence, right?
Well, it would have had like a standard Alien kind of.
Oh yeah, with the space and probably. Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, then this is also the birth of the Fincher inspired himself, I guess, because this then, like, him doing obviously different for the vibes of the films, but him doing these opening credit
Oh, yeah,
sequences
didn't you
are quite
say?
a staple.
Did you say the go with the dragon tattoo opening credits or?
Oh, that was no. I think that was the trailer for the movie, right?
Oh yeah. I talked about the slickness of the trailer, and I think the film was like one of my highlights in the awards or something. So
Okay.
Yeah,
other.
But that's got a
races.
banger opening intro as well.
they all do. The Killer has one great one. Yeah, it's all
Mm.
great. Where do we think this movie takes place?
Well, I always thought it was an unnamed random city, and I thought that was intentional. But then when I was reading Spooky's essay, he names the city.
What does he say it is?
It's some fictional thing called like Bay Bark or some shit like that.
Wait, what? Oh, so it's like a fictional city.
Well, like
Interesting.
him writing that in his essay is the first time I've ever seen it come up in anything I've ever looked at.
Oh, okay. I have to double check
So
sources.
I don't know where that's come from, whether it's like literature on the film or whether it's like an interview that Spooky's like found or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always just thought it was meant to be in like an unnamed city that like kind of reflects the themes.
I would agree with that.
Hmm.
Because, well, okay, hang on. I've got some quick trivia here. The primary influence for the film screenplay came from Andrew Kevin Walker, who wrote the film's time spent in New York City while trying to make it as a screenwriter. I didn't like my time in New York, but it's true that if I hadn't lived there, I probably wouldn't have written Seven. So, like, when you're in the city, it feels like New York to me.
Yeah.
But then they also...
I think the city feels like Gotham.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, Gotham, isn't Gotham kind of meant to be Chicago?
Yeah, and like if anything, I would have picked Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, and then you got the goddamn like railway subway system. That's Chicago. Yeah, honestly, I can see that too. Yeah, I kind of
and then also the constant rain, like bad weather in Chicago, just kind of goes well in my head.
True.
The windy city, the rainy city.
Definitely. Yeah, that all makes sense. I mean, if it's a fictional city, that obviously just answers this. But like the fact that they at the end, of course, drive out to this like desert location is kind of added a new wrinkle to it for me. Of like, this can't be in New York City.
But they talk about upstate a lot, and upstate's a term that you hear referenced with New York.
Yeah.
So that's why that also like brings me back there.
There's a lot of There's lots. Yeah. There's like it's being pulled in a few different directions there. Like the desert reminded me like you could drive somewhere. I don't know from like the city doesn't look like LA at all, but like that was like an LA outskirts kind of vibe or Vegas or something, you know. So yeah, I guess it being fictional kind of makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But I guess it is just meant to represent like modern, again, isn't modern, but you know, society and like a cynical view of it overall. Is that kind of like, is the city just meant to be sort of like a hell? You know what I mean?
Purgatory.
It's just like, because whenever the characters are talking about like the world and like the state of the world and how bad things are and all that kind of thing, it's always usually in reference to the city. You know, this city, I've lived in this city for years. I can't recognize this
It's
city
always
anymore.
been this way.
Exactly. It's always in the context of the city,
Yeah.
but it's only ever called the city. So I kind of just, in my mind, swap the city out for society. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's trying to say something that broad, but that's kind of where I jump to.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that it's like surrounded by desert is interesting as well, because it's kind of like it's nothing like, it looks nothing like Las Vegas or anything, but it's like it gives the same vibe as like this like claustrophobic like jumble of people in one place, and there's just like nothing on the outside. It's like they're all stuck in this one high rise kind of thing.
That's true.
But
they make a point of that too. Yeah.
The houses that we do see at the start kind of reminds me a bit more of like a Boston-esque type of place as well.
You're right.
The fact that you got this kind of like singular detached dwellings type of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I got it here. Spooky calls he calls it Bardic County.
Bardic County.
Yep.
Okay. Is there like a 7 lore page that has that?
I don't know.
They definitely don't say that in the movie.
No.
Okay. No, that's interesting. But the way this movie like represents and deals with these ideas of like how shit everything is, basically, it's sort of hard for me to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how cynical the movie really is, I guess. And to like, because it's obviously not afraid from he doesn't shy away from how shitty things are with the violence and all these conversations that the characters have about how things have changed and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I didn't walk away from the film thinking life sucks. This is the worst. I don't know.
Well, isn't
It's
Mills
interesting.
meant to be like the indicator of that? Because like he comes in thinking he can make a difference. He can make a change in the city.
Yeah.
I think if he actually says like that exact thing, he's like, I'm here to make a change or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just slowly gets worn down. And
Yeah.
I know. So I think ultimately it probably is cynical. If you take it from like that measure.
Yeah.
And then also like, but then I think Somerset's closing statement about it being worth fighting for, but not good.
Exactly.
Is
That's kind of. I mean, I love that. That's an awesome line. But that's kind of what I get stuck on. Because I get what you're saying with Mills and his arc, because it's like, and then he's also, outside of all the crazy violent shit he's exposed to, he's also exposed to like all the corruption and the shady, like FBI, taking library data and shit like that.
Yeah.
Even though I actually read afterwards that actually is illegal apparently. And then like well, hang on, what? I wrote down coercing a member of the pub. Oh yeah, when the witness tampering they did to try and make sure that they weren't getting in trouble for not having a warrant. So it's like there's little inclusions like that in the film as well that are just like feel like it's meant to make the place seem even worse.
Yeah,
but that the witness coercion was done in the name of justice, peace.
Sure.
So is it bad?
Sure. I mean, it did directly lead to them catching John. Did it not?
Not catching. I mean, he turned himself in.
Oh yeah. But no, you're right.
And it's like I said, like even had if they were in that apartment for like 2 months, like who the fuck knows what they would have actually like taken out of it.
Yeah, no, you're actually right. Yeah, it made less of an impact than I thought. I don't know. Another element to this that I'm sort of wrestling with is like the great scene with Gwyneth Paltrow and Morgan Freeman in the diner, and this whole idea of how can I bring a child into a world like this. I find that generally interesting because I hear it in real life as well. I don't know if you guys do, but like I hear people say like, "Oh, I could never bring a child into this world." Like today, you know what I mean? Still applied 30 years ago, which I think is interesting in itself. That like films were talking about that 30 years ago, of like how different the world was back then, and people were still thinking that, and then people are going to still say it in 30 years. So the way that never changes is interesting to me. Unless I mean, I guess the people that say it today, not to get too broad, but I guess the people that say it today like think there's not going to be anything in 30 years. Then like the people 30 years ago probably said that. So,
yeah, they had Y2K to worry about.
Well, yeah, yeah, and that, what a different, you know what I mean? That's just how different that was at the time. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't again like thinking about that final line and what the film left me with. That feeling, it's like I didn't walk away from this movie thinking, regardless of how cynical it is with all these ideas, it's not like I didn't think, oh, I never want to have a kid now after watching this movie. You know what I mean? It kind of gave me like Morgan Freeman kind of left me with like, because what he says he regretted his choice of not having a kid.
Well, he says it was the right choice, but he regrets it. He thinks about it a lot, and he wish he made a different choice, even if it was the wrong choice.
Yeah,
yeah,
because he knows the world's shit, but
and
still
I think
living.
Mills finding out that like that Gwyneth was pregnant was probably like the thing that did lead him to killing John Doe. I think had it just been the head in the box, I think Somerset might have been able to reel him in. But then the reveal that she was pregnant was probably like the tip over the edge.
Yeah.
And so like seeing that he wanted to bring the kid into the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. So that's the part of me that's like, I don't think Fincher's like, I think he's leaving us with a bit of hint. There's optimism here. I feel like there's hope in this movie in this weird way. It's not really through anything like visually or anything, or even in the story itself. Like what literally happens at the end is terrible. But I don't know. I feel like this movie has some hope in it that I don't necessarily think people talk about.
Well, like despite the subjects of this film and like the kind of like topics, I don't think it's a cynic. I don't think they're never really cynic. Like even take like Fight Club and then taking the end of Fight Club. I think that's a kind of hopeful ending, isn't it? In like a kind of rebuilding of like a corrupt or kind of broken
Hmm.
thing,
Potentially, yeah.
and like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think his films are ever cynical.
No,
Yeah,
not necessarily.
even the game, like the game's not cynical despite what is put through.
Yeah.
Alien 3, that's not cynical.
We didn't talk about Alien 3.
We have talked about Alien 3
well, we
back
did-
on episode
episode 40. I don't know.
later than that.
Was it in the hundreds?
I reckon it'd be in the hundreds, probably low hundreds.
Yeah, like 110 or something. Yeah, probably. Yeah, sorry I didn't watch the director's cut of that, Jaden. I know you still hate me for that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just brought that up because I feel like I was reading a lot in the trivia about how like certain actors, I think Denzel was one of them, like who turned down this film because it was like, oh, it's too dark and it's too evil. You know what I mean?
Would he have been Mills or would he have been Somerset?
Mills.
Okay.
Yeah, he turned down Mills.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like he said, he later regretted it. So it's not like he was mistaken for what this film ended up becoming. But it's like, I don't know. I do think I don't want to mistake the film for being. It's very dark on the surface, but there's deeper shit going on. How do you guys feel about Morgan Freeman, Somerset, and his whole sort of arc and purpose in the movie? Because I feel like he's like the conduit for these ideas I'm talking about in a way.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I'm still thinking like of whether or not it's cynical, because I guess that's like integral to Morgan Freeman's arc, but Somerset's arc. But I think it is still a bit cynical. Like John Doe is kind of, he wins in the end. It's kind of proven right or whatever. But I'm not sure like why. Like why do you think Somerset is like hopeful in the end? Is my question.
I don't know. I don't think he's hopeful necessarily, but I guess my hope was more like the underlying feeling of like, for us, the audience, it's like we can still exist in this world that has problems and be okay, and there's still stuff worth doing and shit, like having kids. But
at the end, doesn't he say that he's going to stay on in the police force for a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that kind of, doesn't that speak to it being, cynical, as in that he's trapped in this kind of?
Oh, really?
Thing? He's trapped in purgatory. He can't.
I don't think so. Because I think it was more that he was like, kind of giving up at the end, like the start of the film, like in his retirement.
I agree with that. Yeah. To me, it feels like it's like what the captain talks to him about of like, what else are you going to do? I think this is his purpose, is to exist in this hellscape, if you want to call it that, and help people to the best of his ability, and and not just quit. What was that conversation? That conversation he has with Brad Pitt in the bar, where it's like Mills calls him out for like basically making up all these excuses for like why he should quit.
Yeah.
And I think he's right.
Well, yeah. Well, Somerset was saying he sympathizes with the apathetic, but like he wasn't. I don't think he was saying himself that he had apathy or anything, but he was saying more that the city is so apathetic that it's like too much for him at this point, I think.
Right.
And like the everyday,
but there's a reason to stop.
Instances of it. Yeah.
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 But he doesn't want to stop, I don't think. I think that's I think that his ending in him choosing to stay on. It's interesting you said it's like if it's a negative thing that he's trapped, but I sort of see it as him like, the whole like you said, like the start of the film is like him being almost wavered from what his purpose is. Like it's sort of more of just a personal internal thing for him.
Sure.
Of like he was for this week or whatever it is, like he was put off his path because he thought. Because he got distracted, he sort of gave into his weakness, I suppose. But then he sort of at the end realized, I need to keep this up. I need to keep fighting.
So, not to get too religious, but it's kind of like a test from God, where like he's put through the worst of the 7 sins, and he loses his partner in the end, and he loses the whole game. But like even that only wakes him up, and he like perseveres through that.
He still has faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
You disagree?
No, I don't disagree, but I'm just wondering like how much of the religious context do you want to take
I like that.
out of it? Yeah. Okay.
I like that a lot.
Mm.
Because that is kind of, that is what it's like. I hadn't thought of it that way. But yeah. Because you know that scene where like, well, first of all, what is like, like when he smashes the ticker?
The what?
What do you call them?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
like-
metronome. The metronome.
A metronome.
I think it's
Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
I think it's a metronome.
Yes, my bad. I just thought it was a ticker.
What? What you call it?
A ticker. A tigger. No. Bloody. Wow, you threw me off so bad. Bloody. Oh yeah, like what's that represent? You know, I feel like this is integral. So at the start of the film, it's trying to help him sleep.
So yeah, the metronome assists you to sleep. So
Yeah.
this is him smashing it is him waking up. You know,
Yeah.
it's him coming out of his slump.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
Right. No, that's good. The metronome. No, this is good. The metronome like represents like him giving up. Because at the start of the film, he's like, he wants his peaceful sleep, he wants his rest, he wants to quit.
right.
It's good.
True.
That's good.
True.
I like that. But even there's that, I don't know, I took note of the scene at the library, that little montage sequence we get.
Mm.
It cuts back and forth to him and Mills, but looking at it from Somerset's perspective, he said, because this is when he thinks he's in full quit mode. He's like, I'm going to go. Doesn't he say like to the like, when he leaves the office, he's like, I'm going to home and I don't give a shit, whatever. But instead, he goes to the library and starts reading and researching and stuff. And the whole time, it's not portrayed like if that were portrayed as like in the performance and in the music and stuff, if it were portrayed as like, oh, he's giving in by going to the library, he's trapped, he can't help himself. It's like a positive thing. Like it's kind of chill.
Yeah.
It's chill music. It's like he's at peace when he's on his game, when he's researching, when he's thinking about the case, which makes me think it's more positive that he stays in it.
Mm.
Do you something spooky wrote about it in his essay was about how Mills takes a quick way out with the study notes on the books, whereas Somerset actually goes through the time to read them, and he makes a comparison, not comparison, but he talks about that and what that says about characters and the kind of environment. Do you think there's any validity in that about like the wrong approach that Mills takes in taking the shortcut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think that speaks to what we were talking about earlier. With what were we talking about earlier? Oh my god. With like Mills being dismissive.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a solid example of that.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I think the last time I watched it, I was like looking for the apathetic actions that like Mills takes, because I think like throughout the film, the thing the kind of negative aspect you're shown in the police is like apathy, and like the first line you hear from another policeman, is that like, he doesn't want to hear about the kid, whether or not he saw the the parent that shot the mom or the dad or whatever. So like that's something that's like super present in Mills, and I think that's part of where the sins kind of come from. It's like a spiritual apathy, which is like what sloth is, kind of. So like that's the most present aspect of it that we actually like see, because it's not like we see lust and greed and everything around the corner, but we do see this like malaise through the police.
Yeah.
Not that they're not sometimes, not that they don't have this like hero complex sometimes, as you said about the SWAT team, but they are a bit, broken or whatever. They are a bit, given up a bit.
For sure. Yeah. Sloth is, I guess it's a sin that they commit.
Mm. But I like at the same, like I understand the point. I agree with it to an extent, but like at the same time, who has the time to read through fucking Paradise Lost, Dante's Inferno, and fucking whatever else it was, when you got a killer that's escalating,
Yeah.
Why not take the cliff notes that summarize it perfectly and tell you the themes?
Well, Mills said he read like parts of it, right? He said he didn't read all of it.
No, I think that was him bullshitting to make him look better, to make himself look better in Somerset's eyes. He read the notes.
Yeah.
But he's just he didn't actually read any parts of it.
Yeah. But so you're sympathizing with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I mean, how long did it take you to read?
But you're not supposed to
yeah.
sympathize with it. I don't think you are.
You're not meant to, but like fucking realistically, you have to.
Sure.
Like,
No, I
like
can't disagree.
you know, how long do you read a night? 1 hour ish, right?
Nah, less than that.
Less than that, half an hour.
Yeah.
How much do you get through?
Oh, not much.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I'm a slow reader.
you can't always take the time when you know you have to be realistic in these situations.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
And Spooky, like I haven't read Paradise Lost, but Spooky tried to, and he was telling me like it's a hard
Tried
read
to.
because it's all like
it's like an epic poem.
yeah,
Isn't
it's because it's in that poem form, so like
Oh, Jesus.
it takes time. Like it's not, you know.
Yeah.
But then like you know, obviously it does take time, and that's what the film's commenting on. You know, you need to take your time and appreciate the perspectives and all that. It's like I get it, but also you need to be realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, I like that. I mean, I'd probably still agree more with the film overall, but like I appreciate that there's nuance there. It's not like let's fucking have a week retreat and discuss Paradise Lost at a book club and then come back to the case. I get that. Yeah.
But I think it's because he's a detective mainly, and like the case is like psychological, and the killer's obviously drawing from these books. I think that's what makes it kind of essential that he reads those books.
Yeah. But he's going to the effort to at least get an understanding of them.
Is there any other? Do you want to get into? I feel like themes. Is this relevant to the notes you have? I feel like we're in this zone right now.
That's just on Luke's essay, isn't it?
Yeah, there's let me see if Spooky brings up anything else.
Luke, Jaden wrote a ton of notes in his pad here.
Yeah, look,
criticizing your essay.
Well, maybe because I Liam read through this before, and you know, Spooky talks about, he talks about he has a quite long point on race and the white knighting of Brad Pitt's character, and I just think it's a terrible point, Spooky, to be frank, because I think it's completely irrelevant. I think race has nothing to do with the film, and I think labeling Pitt as a white knight is wrong. I think assigning him a hero complex is correct to an extent, but to call him a white knight, I think, is just identifying him with the wrong trope entirely. You know, do you have anything?
It's a very university thing to write there. Like.
Do you have any comments on race in the film?
No, I agree. I don't think he's got anything to do with
perfect.
Sorry, Luke. I'm sorry. You wrote this great essay about Seven, and you check it out on Letterboxd, by the way, everyone.
So he's got this whole section of because he's John Doe by choice, which is taken from a line about that Somerset says to Mills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not thematic, but like I think it goes back to that thing about understanding, the understanding perspective of Somerset and the not of the rest of them. That's pretty much all, because the rest of the essays are written through this technical lens of like this the themes of like psychological analysis that was and wasn't employed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so thematically, no, there's not much here.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So all those other notes go to waste.
All these other notes are just pretty much nitpicking.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I appreciate you can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
You showed the score?
Oh yeah,
to the camera.
The score. Was
nice.
I don't think you even have to zoom in on that. I mean.
7 out of 10.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at Jane's majestic 7 as well.
It's a good 7.
It's fucking great.
Cheers, I spent time on it.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Cool. I feel like I didn't want to brush over, touch on a little bit, like, goddamn Kevin Spacey showing up. And the whole cast.
It is the best. Look, when Kevin Spacey showed up the first time I was watching it, I was fucking floored. Like that is obviously the intent. He was hidden from all the press tours. He's not on the cast list or anything. He is meant to be hidden, and he is meant to be, this massive fucking shock. And it worked so fucking, perfectly for me. I don't think I've actually spoken to you guys about like the reveal before, but I remember telling you, I was like, when I was saying, I was like, you need to avoid anything for this film at all, because there is one image that will get floated that will spoil fucking everything. And I was like, even the back of the Blu-ray, it has fucking Kevin Spacey on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck would you do that? So I was like I was telling you, I was like, you need to be so careful with this film.
Yeah.
I don't know if you was like successful with that, were you?
I think I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was easy.
And I don't know, were you? Did you go? Did you know about? No. Because I just know, like, it was like the most wondrous experience for me discovering film in this year. And like it's like it had the perfect effect on me. So how did it work on you guys?
Oh, I mean, he's just awesome in the film.
Mm.
Can we say that now?
What?
Can we admit Kevin Spacey's good?
Oh, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I mean, like, yeah, it's a fucking brilliant performance.
Oh yeah. No, it's fantastic, man. The scene with them in the car is so good. His voice is like, I never really thought this in his other performances, but his voice is perfect for this. I don't know. I don't think he's really doing anything different, but like just the way he delivers the dialogue is just like it's so unsettling.
Yeah, there's a pitch to it that's just correct.
100%, 100%. I mean, well, first of all, actually, I wrote down here that I thought it was a cool choice to like have they're basically only talking to him through the car rearview mirror, but then that changes. I think we cut away to something else, like maybe the chopper, and then we go back, and then like the shot choice changes where you actually only it's Mills and John talking, and it's only ever through the goddamn bars in the car, whatever that part is that separates them. That was just a really great shot choice because you're like always looking at him, like you only see his face. Like it's not obscured, but you know what I mean. Like you're seeing him through the chain and stuff all the time, and it just creates. It's so simple.
But the longer he goes on as well, the more you get of his perspective because the more you see of his, like the more you understand his points.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you begin to think he has the upper hand on Mills, but just the way that it kind of, it's like a little bit above, and then Mills is kind of he like faces away from the camera, kind of.
Yeah,
like he's like embarrassed or something.
Yeah, he does. That's true. I love that.
In the scene where he comes up as the news photographer this time, obviously knowing that that's him. Did you try and look to see if you can tell it's Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you?
Well, I was going to ask if it was or not.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
So no, I
was like, was actually would they run the risk of ruining the surprise there? But like,
yeah,
I was looking, I was like, I can't see, and like, there's not really any clear shots of his face anyway. There's like, you can kind of see the very side of it, and I was like, I can't even tell from there if that's him or not. So,
yeah. I think he looks like thinner in this film anyway, so it's like harder to tell. But his voice was definitely there. Like you could hear in his voice. Yeah, he was arguing with Mills.
But you can just chuck the voice over because you never see the face.
Yeah, I know that might not be him in the shot, but
that's so amazing how, because like on this rewatch, I didn't remember that was supposed to be him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I thought in my head the first time he showed up was like when he's on the hallway in the distance, before the chase starts.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that the photographer was supposed to be him either. And it's funny, that's so well done to where the film doesn't feel like it's trying to hide anything from you there.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously in the hallway it feels like that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is the guy because we're keeping him at a distance here. Like the photographer just looks like he could just be an extra and they never brought it up again.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't think, oh, why did the film try and disguise his face? You know what I mean? It just that was really well done. Yeah.
And the fact that they bring it back, because that's where Somerset reveals to him about, the policemen get paid for tip-offs.
Yeah.
And then that's how he kills his wife as well. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great little full circle.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The way that whole bloody chase sequence is done.
That's another part of the film that historically I wasn't overly interested in. But this time I think it was like I was completely taken away with it. I think there's such a weight to the bullets that's rare in kind of gunfights or like even just shootings in films. Like it felt like they were heavy and like when they made the impact they were fucking deep thuds. So it really kind of pulls you in on that. Like every kind of fucking bang drags you.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite like a long sequence, but I think like it was always kind of engaging, and I think it was always. I think I appreciate it far more this time than I have in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I got some trivia. David Fincher wanted something different for the chase sequence with Mills and Somerset chasing down John Doe through the apartment building. Brad Pitt told the director he hated chase scenes. And when I read this, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it is. He hated chase scenes where the chaser always seems to know where the person being chased is. Fincher took this idea and ran with it, and he and Pitt worked out how Mills should be reacting during the chase, reluctantly going around corners and not knowing where John Doe was at any moment. That particularly stuck out to me when he runs into the apartment with the kids and they point him out the window and then he's like, he doesn't know that John's still out there just waiting for him to poke his head out the window because he's like, oh, you'd think he might have kept running. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was awesome. And then when you get down on the street and then you start running on top of cars and shit, it's like this keeps getting better.
Yeah. When it's like through those narrow corridors and that kind of thing, it feels like a classic neo noir kind of chase, especially with like John Doe's like disguised outfit with the massive like
yeah. What do you call that? Like the trench coat?
The trench coat and the hat, and there's that one shot like that just focuses on that behind his back when he's running with his limp.
Yeah,
that was like, that was perfect. That was like that felt like it was inspired by like some Orson Welles film or something, like some 40s kind of neo noir thing. But
yeah.
Well, if it was the 40s, then it's just noir, not neo.
Oh really?
Okay, yeah. Isn't neo like doesn't that attachment mean like new noir, or like
Sure.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure it does. Doesn't?
Yeah, neo new. Yeah.
How much are you looking at the camera, by the way?
Hardly, and then sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh, I have to like shamedly turn away. I'm like, oh,
because you're the one who's directly.
I looked in your eyes, yeah.
Because like I have to like I hadn't to deliberately look at it.
Mm.
I keep wanting to go to this one, but that's worse. I should go to that one. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think I'm looking between them quite a bit, so I don't know like what that's gonna look like if it's interesting them or not.
It's fine. You just like they're not there.
Yeah.
I thought this whole chase really quickened the energy of the film. I thought it was really exciting, really, really great. Not quite as good as not Fincher's best action sequence. That belongs to the killer, of course. You know what I mean? But really good stuff. My favorite shot of the movie is in this sequence. So I'll segue to ask you about your favorite shots of the movie. But my favorite shot of the movie is when Spacey's got you don't know it's him yet, but he's got the point of the gun. He's got the gun on Mills's head, and it's like looking up.
Yeah.
And the rain. And like he's silhouetted.
Yeah, for sure.
Always that shot always stuck out. Like I remembered that shot very vividly. Still,
it kind of feels like that shot in Zodiac as well. Where the couple are by the lake, and the guy asks, "Was that anything even loaded?" And he kind of leans in. And it's just like really tight angle in the gun, and you see it's loaded.
Yeah,
and he's kind of but like the Zodiac remains obscured.
Yes, it
kind
is
of feels like that,
except like sunny and nice.
Yeah,
but not rainy. Yeah, exactly. Sure. But that is my favorite shot. Do you guys have any standouts?
None that come to mind.
Cinematography sucked.
Yeah. I think for a simple strikiness is a lot of the stuff in the apartment in John Doe's apartment. Especially with the neon cross. I mean, like that cuts through.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. I don't know. It's like it doesn't feel like because you never really get long shots of the city and stuff like that. You never get so it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deliberate choices.
Yeah.
Maybe like I really like the shot of Mills and Somerset sleeping on the couch.
Oh yeah.
That's like an extremely well composed shot.
That's awesome. I read it. I can't remember. I think maybe it was in the Alex Garland interview I listened to. I think it was actually. He said how it definitely was. He said how whenever they finish a film, and he asked the cinematographer what their favorite shot in the film was. Like it's always a shot like that. It's always just a dumb not a dumb shot. You know what I mean? It's always just like a pedestrian shot.
Right.
But the cinematographer always loves those shots. Usually over something that we would go
something more iconic.
Something we would drool over. Yeah.
Did you realize this time around how much the scenes are lit by lamps and shit, just non-main lighting, all the scenes that are indoors are often there's 5-6 lamps in shot, and you always know where the light source is, kind of thing. This is something I picked up back when I was doing media back in year 12, so that this but you see everywhere where there's a light source, so you know how the scene's lit as the audience. This is kind of as natural as it gets in terms of getting a scene up, because I remember they were talking about for in the office of the captain or whatever, they wanted it to be really dimly lit, but they can't just have one key light that's just with a fucking orange filter over it. So that's why the scene's lit by 5 lamps. That you don't usually have 5 lamps in one office, but but that's persistent throughout the film, where you see a lot of the interior scenes lit by off sources or whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess like Tracy and Miller's apartment.
Yeah, as well.
Was like
too.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like in the gluttony killing, like it's only the torches, there's
Yeah.
and they completely block out any kind of potential exterior light.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That really felt closed in.
and I think even in that first scene where you introduce the Somerset in that, with the homicide suicide thing, I think that's all very low key lighting as well with actual sources.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool to add like this real tone to the film.
Yeah.
That makes sense since it's always like overcast. It's always raining. It's always like dark outside.
Did the rain ever feel like too much to you?
No, honestly.
This time around, like it's sometimes rain machines are really heavy, but it has to be so you can actually pick up the rain on the film. But like it's noticeable in the car with Somerset and Mills where you're kind of sitting in the back seat, well the camera's sitting in the back seat, sorry, and you're looking outwards, and you can just see the fucking sheer amount of water coming down on the windshield, and like the wiper wipes it away, but it is like genuinely impossible like to see through. So you're like, oh okay.
It went a bit overkill on the water machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it needs to be because like, otherwise you don't pick up like thin water. It has to be like heavy amounts.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Maybe on new cameras it picks it up, but like on old cameras especially, like it had to be a shit ton of water.
Yeah. I probably would have agreed with that. Like if the whole final sequence was also raining out there, the fact that it was clear was helped it. Yeah. Didn't feel like too much. The whole, I don't know. Did we mention already their apartment, their dinner sequence? There are just two little choices in that like make me feel like this place is even more claustrophobic, and that's of course first of all this is kind of a random one, but the fact they have 3 dogs living in there feels intentional. Second one, because they come from their life on wherever they're space, and the second one being the goddamn train, like the subway system that rattles through the house, that would drive me absolutely insane. So that was a very effective device for me because I just like wanted to die just watching it. Like picture having to live through that.
Not on that choice, but I think there's another really telling choice in that scene. In that when Somerset asks for wine from Mills, he gets like a tall glass for him, and he pours it in like a highball glass rather than like a wine glass. And Mills, he doesn't realize, but then when the second train comes through and he picks up and he's like he looks at like what's going on here. I think I didn't even notice that. It's a really great little thing, just to highlight the details of both characters.
That's cool.
Also, it could just be a thing about transitioning and like maybe they don't have all the wine glasses out in the move, but I think it probably speaks more to the characters.
Yeah. I agree with that. Did you like how the credits moved? They went up. It's psychopath stuff. You know what I mean?
Don't they? What do you mean? Don't they all go up?
No. Credits come near.
No, they don't.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Wait, hang on. Am I getting my words mixed up? Whatever they did in this film is the opposite to what they normally do.
No, because credits start at the bottom of the screen and they go up like that.
Yeah, but it's like you're going down. You know what I mean? It's like you're...
Oh, you're right. Sorry, they start from the top in this movie.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh.
It's the opposite of what it usually
is. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. I said that wrong, but yes.
Mm.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, serial killer. Whoa. Yeah. This was the 7th highest grossing film of 1995.
Appropriate.
Nailed it. New Line Cinema executives originally balked at the film's ending, but Brad Pitt refused to make the film if it was changed.
Well, is that also as mentioned, like where Fincher initially thought maybe we need to put a dog's head in there rather than Gwyneth's head because it's too cynical?
Right.
Is that?
I didn't read that, but if
that's is
that would be like a way to do that.
Yeah,
like one of his dog's heads.
Yeah, I have a feeling it was something like that where like he thought about changing it because like having her head is too much. Which in this film, like, is it too much? But I guess that would have been,
I don't really think that would have made a difference.
What, a dog's head?
Like if the idea was then to do that to reduce the impact, I don't really think that makes that much of a difference because you don't see the head anyway. It's more of like the psychological, it's all just you imagine it.
Yeah.
So I feel like imagining a dog's head. I get Tracy's a character, but at the same, I feel like it's not that different.
It's not
if
that
you were
different.
to see Tracy's head, maybe. But...
Yeah, it's not that different, but like, I think it doesn't I think it comments a lot more on the sins of Mills if he was to kill John Doe in that instance. If it was just a dog, you know.
Yeah, but yeah. I, as a person, I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
But like, maybe the New Line Cinema, maybe they felt that way. Okay, cool. I just want to reiterate: Brad Pitt said the R word in this movie,
and the F word, I'm pretty sure as well.
Oh, the other F word.
Yeah, the other one.
Oh,
the one that we're not allowed.
Did
to
he
say.
really?
I swear he did, didn't he?
I don't recall. That.
Like when they're at the cafe and he was like, "Don't sit too close to me." Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think it might have been there. No,
I can't remember if he did say that.
Jeez,
it might have been
messed
when he got in the car. Yeah, I think it was when he was in the car and he got the cliff notes, and he got all angry and he threw it.
Oh
he
yeah,
threw it
yeah,
away.
yeah. He got Dante.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
True.
Oh my god.
It's great. This is why I love 90s. Like I watched Good Will Hunting this week as well, and they use that word plenty. So
the kids do.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hang on.
In Good Will Hunting.
Oh, sorry, I pictured
What
Dead Poets
kids?
Society for
Yeah.
some reason. Wait, who uses it?
Matt Damon and his mates.
Do they really?
Yeah, shit tons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a different time right there.
Oh, I did. It's not here. I took notes on a separate piece of paper, and I had the name of the guy that created the title sequence, but I've forgotten it now. But big ups to him.
Shout out.
Yeah.
We can get to our final verdicts. 4, 7. Jaden.
10 out of 7.
That was good.
Nah, yeah,
That's
10 out of 10. This movie has always been a 10 for me, and I don't think it's ever really going to change.
Excellent. Fitzy.
I'll give it an 8 still. I think there are moments where like the movie peaks a bit and it's like almost it's almost pushing it 9, but I'll keep it at an 8. I think it's still a great a classic, a modern classic, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'll keep it at an 8.
You know what? I'm close to you, but your idea explaining Somerset's arc as like him being tested by God,
like Job. Yeah.
Like is he someone who was tested?
Yeah,
like
tested by God.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure. And yeah, like the name rings a bell, but that's going to push it up to a 9 for me because that's great. That's what I was looking for because I loved analyzing the arc, but I needed that connective thread to like contextualize it, and that was it. So that was great. Excellent.
Sorry, am I crazy, or was there a shot missing? Did you guys watch it all on Netflix?
Yeah.
Did we? Have you ever seen like a different version of this film?
No.
I could have sworn in the version I watched on like disc, we see Somerset at his house at the end. Or am I fucking nuts?
I've never seen that.
No,
I don't remember that.
no.
Don't remember that.
I could have sworn that closing narration, that line, is Somerset like at a house like somewhere out west.
Really?
Yeah.
You still get the shot of him like, on the scene? Like is the final shot? Like do you still get the final shot that we got?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I should have checked out.
That's interesting. Well, in terms of other segments that we usually do, I watched the Mufasa trailer, but Jane and Liam already totally shat all over that before we even started. So I'll just say I'm excited to watch the movie.
I haven't even seen the
one's
remake.
surprised.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
You talk a lot of shit for someone who hasn't seen it.
You both talk a lot of shit. I mean, to be fair, like pretty much everyone talks shit about it if you've seen it or not, so probably wouldn't really make a difference. All right. That's fine by me. We can get into our highlights of the week. Liam, what have you been watching?
Let's see. I watched Challenges, which was pretty fantastic.
Oh yeah, tell me about this.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, the movie like jerks you around a lot. It kind of like the timeline is all over the place.
Is it Nolan-esque? If Nolan would make a tennis movie, would it be like this?
Yeah, I guess so. If you focus on the characters more, but yeah, the way it goes back and forth, it kind of like slowly peels back the layers on the characters and kind of adds dimension to how you feel about each one. And I mean, there was one character that I was like kind of rooting for and behind the whole time, because I think, is it Josh O'Connor? Like,
Is he the Crown one?
The what?
Is he from the Crown?
He's British, so probably.
The dark hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays Charles. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But he's just like, he has like amazing charisma in this film, and he was like the standout performance. But like, basically, there's just like the three actors in this film, and I think the fourth build is like the line man, like the umpire of the kind of tennis game who calls the shots. So it's like, it's just those three, and they're all pretty spectacular. But like, it's just a very exciting film, and it's like everything in the film is a back and forth. Like, the conversations are just like the tennis games in a way, because they have this like this pulsing electronic music over every conversation, and sometimes you can't even hear the words, because it's just like, you know they're talking normally, and then it'll just go into this like kind of something from like a Balenciaga like ad, where it's just like they're like focusing on this, they're zooming in on this character like arguing here, and then they do the same there, and it's like, it's just everything about it is intense, I guess, even just the talking scenes. So it's a very exciting film, and yeah, I don't know, it's like it's about a lot of things as well, it's about competition, friendship, and it kind of like, it even plays tennis and like this back and forth kind of action, and the way it like jumps between those two themes as well. So it's a very interesting film. And I guess I'll say this for Andy, because he said it, like, if you don't believe in Zendaya, Jaden, after seeing this film,
I was gonna say,
then you'll never believe in her. She's really great in the film.
I personally think I don't like the film. I've seen a few scenes on Twitter, and like
the modern film viewer, right?
And like I'll get around to it eventually, but like the excerpts I've seen, and like the way the music comes over the scene, and just like, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna vibe with the film. Plus, I'm not a massive tennis fan in general. But yeah,
apparently Luca Guadagnino like isn't a tennis fan, which is interesting.
Yeah, actually, I saw that quote as well.
But like,
yeah.
It is jarring, but it's like perfectly jarring. It's like, I think I'm just more, like, just in general, I'm very drawn to these days, like those kind of intentionally jarring choices that just work perfectly for the film. I think this is like a prime example.
The few things I have heard from the score I do not like, and like, as a person that loves like electronic music and like dance music, I'm not vibing with this Trent, man.
But it's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Still not vibing with it.
I didn't know they actually did the score until I heard one of the songs. I think it was like Lou, like the Egg, and it sounded like something from The Social Network. So I was like, is that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross? So it was confirmed later when the credits rolled. But their score is amazing. Like, it's really, it sounds kind of a bit generic at times, but it's always like exciting. It's hard to describe.
I think that's my issue with it. It sounds like royalty free like dance music.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. But it's used very well in the film, Jaden.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I'm interested in checking it out now.
Did you say that Celine Song's husband wrote it?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I never anything against it. I like Zendaya, but I was just like, I don't know, love triangle challenge tennis movie. It could be I just didn't know anything about it, so I was like, I don't know, it could be a fun watch, whatever. But now it's like, hearing your opinions, and it's like, oh, it's actually like going to be a top film of the year kind of thing. It's like, oh shit, yeah. I need to check this out. Cool.
How much of you've seen quite a bit of, if not all of Luca's work, right? You've seen Bones and All and Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah, I haven't seen Suspiria, as you call it, though. I haven't seen Suspiria.
Okay. Was there something in between there as well that he's done?
Not sure. I think those are his major. Those are his major works. But yeah, Bones and All was
yeah.
We don't talk about Bones and All.
Sure.
That was a low point.
We've talked about cannibals enough this year on the show. All right. I finished Three Body Problem this week. And this show is really good.
Is it? Okay.
I'm glad to report it.
I was waiting for that to, sell me on it.
To go another way. No, I was really happy with it. So I don't know. The thing with it is that it takes. I did like it the whole time, but like I think I was apprehensive in the first 4 episodes because it's not really clear what it's about yet. It takes about halfway to understand like what the show is actually like, what the plot's about, because it takes the first 4 episodes do interesting things where like they set up the characters. The characters are all well acted and likable. It's like, okay, I like that stuff. Then it's sort of it's a bit. There's a lot going on. It plays around with time. They have all these different flashbacks to like stuff that seems irrelevant. It's like, what are we doing? And then they also have these video game sequences thrown in, which are these like VR. Like the characters go into VR, and then you get these like CG green screen sequences. And I didn't think they were bad or anything, but they're weird and they're intentionally weird. But you guys know I don't like weird shit. So I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird. Why are these here? And like, they're also, the rest of the show is like shot on location in, looks great. So like this stuff is kind of distracting that they're on these green screen sets. It's kind of, it just felt different. It just felt weird. So I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really understand why we're doing this. And then halfway through it clicks and the whole narrative sort of comes together of like what everything was the whole time. And then the plot sort of just moves forward from there in the last 4. And from that moment, it just clicked. It's like, oh, yeah, I get what this show is now. And it just becomes... It goes from, like, being, oh, this is abstract and heady, and now it's just like, oh, no, this is straightforward. I get it. Like, but in a good way, though. Like, I think the plot's still really interesting. The thing about it is, though, is that I didn't know anything about this show except some of the cast members and the fact that, obviously, D&D created it.
Isn't a Game of Thrones bloke in it, too?
Liam Cunningham.
No, the other one.
Sam,
yeah.
He's in it. Yeah, he's great in it, by the way. So the thing about the two, so it's him. Well, Jonathan Pryce is in it too. So I guess it's 3 Game of Thrones.
Which one's that?
He's the
church guy,
Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, okay.
High Sparrow. Yeah. So there's 3 Game of Thrones actors in it. They all play. Jonathan Pryce is probably the most similar. But Liam Cunningham and what's John Bradley is his name? Sorry, Sam. They play vastly different characters to Game of Thrones, and they're both really fun. Like it's all like Liam Cunningham in particular is a really fun character. He's nothing like Davos though. I love that. But the thing about the show is that I didn't know anything about it, so I don't know if like the thing that it reveals halfway through that makes clear that this is what the show's about. I don't know if it's in like it might just be in the synopsis.
Right.
It might be one of those things where it's like I think it's a spoiler, but it's like anyone who watched the trailer just knows that's what the show's about.
Did you not see any trailers at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I got spammed with like the Twitch like ads.
Yeah.
So I wonder if.
What do you think the show's about?
So I know it's about scientists dying, and I know that it's something about like something to do with aliens or something like. Because like also part of the promotion was that a bunch of Twitch streamers they changed their profiles to say you're all bugs or something like that.
Yeah.
So like I guess it's something to do with like an alien, like a higher life force, and like the way they're kind of interacting with the humans.
Yeah, that's all true. Okay, but it sounds like they didn't actually spoil the core conflict of the show. It sounds like okay, no, that's cool. All right, yeah, because for me that was the surprise, and then once they did that, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool.
So the aliens aren't the surprise that you're talking about.
The fact that
they're the higher beings or whatever.
The fact that there are aliens is not.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like the 3-body problem is like a philosophical concept in general, isn't it? Is it like simulation or is it after death kind of?
The way they explain it in the show is that it's like oh god, I'm gonna botch this so bad, sorry Luke, but it's like it's when 3 bodies are fed. It's like scientific when 3 bodies.
Oh yeah.
Are like
it's like gravity.
Yeah, they're equally distanced from the sun, I think, and their gravity, and they come in something to do with like. They come in and out of the gravity of the star, and that fucks up the ecosystems of the planets or something like that. Because they're equal distance, and then one I can't remember the outcome. Something to do with there's 3 planets around a star, and if it's done, it's a very specific example, like they're fucked basically, and you can't solve it.
Yeah, true.
Something to do with that.
Forget what I said. Yeah.
But I think the idea is that it's like an unsolvable problem. I think.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
It was still unsolved, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like the show, and the show's still like even when the plot reveals itself, I only mean like it becomes clear in like what like like what the conflict of the show is. That's all I mean. Like what the characters are doing, what the goal is. Like that becomes clear. But the show's still very sci-fi heady and like philosophical and like the last episode was my favorite. Like the episode's only improved for me. And there is the only other thing, like it does, the VR sequences weren't my favorite, but the show does do things that I've just never seen on TV. Like there's a sequence in, anyone who's seen it, there's a sequence in episode 5. I've never seen anything like it, and it's pretty wild. So I appreciate that the show, like I assumed that must have been from the book, but that would have been crazy to adapt. So anyway, the show does memorable things, and I hope. Have you heard about if it's going to get into second season? I didn't even look.
I'm not sure.
I hope they renew it because I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Liam and I were talking last week about like when just about like the Netflix watch list, and how I was saying like I take things off that after a while.
Oh yeah.
I was about to take this off my watch list this week, but you
just because you were going to give up on it.
Yeah, just because I've waited too long. I've lost interest, but you've now kicked it all the way back up.
Oh yeah. I think you'd like it.
Cheers.
I think so. So yeah, hopefully they make another. Jaden, what is your highlight?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I finally watched Good Will Hunting. I was scared to watch this movie because I was like, I don't want to be one of those like people that hate it because it's popular and then get like gripped into it in with that crowd. And I'm glad I didn't. I really liked it. I think the start was hard for me to grasp because like I just wasn't. It wasn't the film I was expecting to be. I was expecting Robin Williams to be like far more integral and like from the start. And I thought like Matt Damon. I thought it was all purely going to be Matt Damon and Robin Williams going back and forth, and then finding out that it had like Stallone and these other like what's her name Minnie Driver and all that stuff. Like figuring out that this is actually like a quite strong ensemble. I was like, oh okay, so this it wasn't what I was expecting. So like it kind of threw me a bit. But it was fantastic. Like by the time you get into like Will's proper therapy sessions, and like the way that Robin responds to those, I can't remember his character's name, and like everything that happens there, and like I don't know, I just think the unraveling of the characters is fantastic to watch, but not like unraveling in like a bad way, but like in this enigma way, and I think the fact that like I don't know, I just think it was really fantastic, like all the scenes and stuff. This won them a screenplay award, didn't it?
Yeah.
That does surprise me a bit. I don't really know what else it went up against, but good on them. Because like I think the acting is like easily the strongest part. I think the script might be a bit weak at some points. But yeah, I don't know. You guys have both seen it,
yeah?
Yeah. Liked it.
Yeah.
I
don't know. It was just an 8 for me.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 too. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the Elliott Smith song at the end?
There was so many fucking Elliott Smith songs. That's another thing I didn't realize. There was fucking Elliott Smith songs permeate this film.
I remember this as well.
And I was like, holy shit! I was like, is this where, like, not where he necessarily came from? I mean, like I think his first album was like what 93-ish.
Yeah, but I think this shot him into the spotlight because he had to perform at the Oscars. He had to perform Miss Misery, and he was miserable doing it because he just hated it.
Yeah. But like hearing Between the Bars and like
was that in there too?
And like Angelus?
Oh yeah, Angelus.
Yeah. Like in there and like to hear his voice constantly pop up, I was like, what's going on here? So that was a wonderful part of the film as well. Yeah. Dude, he was so frequent that at a point I thought he did the whole soundtrack, and I thought like his like one of his albums was just a Good Will Hunting thing, but then like I went and had a look and like it wasn't,
yeah.
It was another thing that surprised me was that I'd only ever seen it parodied in Community, but like that the whole thing of like the best part of my day is a 10 seconds I think you're not going to be there. I had no idea it came from this film.
Oh really?
Because like I'd seen it parodied in Community, but like I didn't know what it was referencing. So to see that I was like, oh, finally, I was like, I get it.
Just like Seven, just like the What's in the Box.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't even do the impression. We should have done the Brad Pitt.
I'm not doing that. You can do it when Zach comes back in.
I'm good. I'm
really
good.
Surprising. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about Good Will Hunting. I
Mm.
don't know. Do you have any thoughts on it that you want to get out there?
Gus Van Sant, like, is that his, like, I think it's like one of his. Is there one other film that people like know, like, that's like?
Well, it's
known
the
for
first film
Hollywood?
I've seen by him.
Oh, it's the first film you've seen for him.
Yeah.
Well, that it's like one of his more traditional, like, Hollywood products. Because later on he does
by
more.
looking at his filmography.
Later on he does more like experimental stuff.
Yeah.
I guess Drugstore Cowboy is his other like more normal one. But like later when he does like Jerry and fucking Elephant and shit, he like kind of goes off the deep end.
Is Elephant his? Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried to last through highlights, but then you brought up Elliot Smith. I'm like, this is great. You can talk about this. And I'll run off. Now comes a segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. As everyone can see, I don't like everyone can see that I've changed tabs. You know what I mean?
Can you actually make out what's on your screen though?
I don't know if you can read it, but like clear distinction. Oh, look, Zach's doing stuff.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Clicking stuff. Last week we asked you which of the 7 deadly sins do you commit the most. Jaden, I just want to apologise because then when I started thinking about my answer, I'm like, oh yeah, I see what you meant. Like I didn't think it through enough. I didn't think it through enough to what this would actually mean answering this question. Exactly.
But maybe it's good that we do it. You know. Maybe
Possibly.
it was hard to get through, but
yeah. Well, part of that is like me reading Andy's. Like he submitted it. So.
Oh no! Where did he write?
Well,
okay. because now that you just said that, I'm like, oh shit! What's in there?
So here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to read it, and if you feel like I should cut it, then I can still do that.
Okay.
All right. Andy wrote in and said, I watched 7 with my parents for the first time today, and they were thoroughly engaged by the entire viewing experience, accompanied by mid-level interpreting skills of 40% of the runtime. What does that mean?
Because he has to translate it to Vietnamese.
For them on the spot.
Mm.
Is that what you do? Is that it? Really? He does that?
To an extent, yeah. Like that's what he's saying.
They just don't use subtitles? Are there
maybe
no
there wasn't
Vietnamese?
I mean, who
Vietnamese.
the fuck knows if there's Vietnamese?
True, I
subtitles?
never
On
wouldn't have a
Netflix,
clue.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Andy, that's a hell of a task if you have to actually live translate that shit. Oh, my God. Anyway, like my father didn't run off outside to take a long smoke or went into his room to watch his Chinese dramas. He was on his seat for the whole film, besides one toilet break where I paused for him during the phone scene at John Doe's apartment. My mother didn't fall asleep for a change, as she always does when watching TV, which makes me think she probably commits the sloth sin on numerous occasions. Anyway, before the film started, I showed my dad the 7 deadly sins with simple Vietnamese translations. I didn't even ask him the question, but as soon as he looked through them, he immediately said, I am, referring to Andy, I am 100% wrath. Apparently he hears me slamming my laptop and throwing rages when I watch soccer games, or I find myself getting too passionate and frustrated when I used to play Football Manager.
Mm.
Similar to, I think, yeah, we'll get to Jaden. Similar to Jaden, I also really don't like this question, but I feel like it feels too vague as you're required to find the answer yourself. Well, it takes some self-reflection. But enough with my personal ramble. Are you guys surprised that wrath would be one of the 7 deadly sins I commit the most? Happy 200th, by the way.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
I actually am a bit surprised, to be honest.
Hold on, let me run through them again. Yeah, I don't know. When applying it to because I don't think Andy's slothful. I don't think he's greedy.
I don't think Andy is a sinner at all.
He's definitely not greedy. He's definitely not. I don't think he's prideful. I don't think he's not envious. Really, is he? No,
I don't think so. Come on,
Huh?
pipe up. You got something to say?
No, I don't know. I'll talk about myself. I won't talk about
Fair
other
enough.
people.
No, I respect that choice. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have picked it though, Andy, to be honest. Dr. Luke says, the sin I commit the most is envy because I'm jealous of Jaden's record collection.
Sure.
It's a safe answer, Luke. We're actually going to, I mean, maybe we'll make Joe cop-out answers. I don't know, but that's what that was. But that's fine if you want to do that. That's cool.
No, let's assign one to Luke now. Serious.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm
down.
I think you're a greedy little fuck. No, I'm joking. No, I don't know.
I don't.
You see, I think it's hard for Spooky to. I think it's hard to assign one to him as well. To be honest,
It's hard to assign any of these to anyone I know. To be honest,
I mean, just like I'll get like he's the least slothful person I know, so like it's definitely not that.
No,
I would say that.
no, it's not sloth.
Um,
No way.
But sloth isn't just about laziness. It's about like it's called acedia in Latin, which like it's like spiritual apathy.
But I don't. Oh, actually, he is quite apathetic towards like the current like social climate. If that's like if that applies.
No,
to
I don't
that.
think that counts. I don't
No?
think that
No,
counts.
I think yeah. Well, so what? Just not believing in God, or not caring what happens to other people?
Oh, it's like amorality kind of.
right.
Well, he's not amoral either.
Yeah.
No, you're not slothful, man.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Sloth it just sounds funny. I just keep thinking of the animal because they're cool.
I think of the Pokemon.
Is there an animal? Wait, what? A Pokemon called Sloth?
Well, it's slack off and slacking, but they're modeled off sloths.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Slack off.
Yeah,
I like that. I didn't know that existed.
yeah. Gen 3.
Oh, really?
Do you know that seal was modeled off a
Off
seal?
a seal, that's crazy.
fuck,
Yeah.
that's inventive.
Yeah.
It's wild. All right, who's gonna go first? I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go for
No,
it.
yeah. Take
Uh,
the floor.
I honestly found this difficult. I don't know. Like, so I thought of pride. What does that really mean? Does yeah?
I don't think you're overly proud.
Like, does it relate to? Does it correlate to like how others perceive you?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's probably my most. That's probably my worst.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. Because it can take me some time to, especially like here, it can take me some time to get over certain like interactions that I have. Like like goddamn, like I don't know. I can get in my own head and like running through things in my head about like some interaction I had. I need to remind myself often that I don't actually care what this annoying person I spoke to on the phone thought of me. You know what I mean? There's a bit of pride there. It's like, oh, did they think I came across as a prick? It's like I actually don't give a flying fuck if you thought I was a prick, but for some reason my instinct is to go to that. I need to remind myself.
Mm. Oh, I thought you were more saying that like your ego was bruised, like because they like insulted you or something, or like implied you weren't. You know.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think.
Because I
Yeah,
think that's more pride.
that's more pride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think that really bothers me. Yeah. I don't know. Because I am talking about perception. Like I'm trying to get to the. This is now.
Yeah, but I think it's a very weak level of pride that you're talking about.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you couldn't give two fucks about like, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
For what?
I don't know. Just you're coming to work or you're going out. Like you don't care about your perception to the degree that I think
You don't have
that
the
pride is
Patrick
warranted
Bateman.
as a sin.
You don't have the Patrick Bateman
Yeah.
morning routine.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Like low level pride here.
Mm.
Okay. Well, that's not a really good answer then.
No.
I looked through the others and I couldn't really see any. To be honest, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to say I'm great or anything, but I'm just like that's. I genuinely thought like that might be decent.
Mm.
Anyway, someone else take over.
Well, I mean, I'll go next, and I'm kind of the opposite. I think I am God's greatest sinner. Like I'm wrathful. I'm envious. I'm greedy.
We definitely wrathful.
I'm the full fucking bag.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you
I think-
greedy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably am. I think you know how Jesus stood there and he witnessed every sin that will ever be committed, and he still chose to die for your sins. He looked at me and he's like, "Fuck, that's a lot," and but he still chose to die. I don't know. Well, I think Liam can speak to my wrath and when we play games.
Oh yeah, I was
I'm-
going
I'm
to say like
quite-
I hear those stories, so
quite-
like
quite
I'll support
ragey,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also think I'm quick to anger, despite my best efforts not to be.
Okay.
I am slothful, and I am like the world's greatest procrastinator.
Is that what that is?
I mean, laziness is part of it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
I am greedy in like my I'm a collector of everything. Like I collect records, I collect Pokemon cards, books, movies, fucking.
Yeah.
I'm a collector. I want more. I guess that feeds into envy to an extent. I envy other people's collections. I'm like, oh, I wish I had that record. I wish I had that card.
Oh,
I wish I
this
had-
is minor.
I
This
wish
is
I
minor.
had that
envy.
thing.
Oh yeah.
What are the other ones? Pride. I mean, I do. I think I care more about what people think of me than, you do. I'd say.
Really?
Clearly not illustrated by some of the words you've used today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The other one, gluttony. Yeah, I'm gluttonous. I'll also say that. What's the other one?
You didn't get the pastry from the bakery.
Oh yeah, that's a good little bit of restraint. Greed. What are the last ones? Or have I gone through all seven?
I think you went through all of them, and then I don't know. The longer you went, they were kind of weak.
Nah, like
People's collections. What?
no.
Nah.
Look, I thought like that's me copping out on the answer of it. But like
Oh yeah,
I think I very strongly do embody all these.
in minor ways.
No.
Well, the fact that you're admitting it,
Yeah,
like, that and
what's that?
that means you're like that.
Well,
That's like a point to your favor.
That's to give me coverage, so I can still get into heaven. You know.
Oh
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh no, I disagree. Wrath, sure.
Mm.
I mean, I know you do procrastinate a lot.
Oh yeah.
So like maybe like sort of, but I don't know. That's like I don't know. Everyone does. So it's not like
Well, so how do you go back to so talking about your original definition of sloth and amorality? How like what does that actually mean? Like,
Well, I think the amorality and like the spiritual apathy and sloth, it's kind of like the last barrier of like laziness and not caring, like not caring about yourself and like the world. You know what I mean? So,
well,
like,
I think I definitely display like I think I display an apathy towards the world. But probably not to myself to the fullest extent that
in
you're
what way do you
implying.
explain apathy towards the world?
Huh? I just don't give a shit anymore.
Really?
about
Yeah.
what?
About the world, about social events, about current issues.
No,
What?
I don't believe that at all.
Well, I do. Like,
Oh, I think that's me, and then you're often telling me about this.
It's a balancing act of being aware but not caring.
Right.
Because you, like in the modern day, you can't be. Look, if you're willfully ignorant in the modern day, it is pretty poor. So like, I try to stay in the loop enough to get away with it, but I don't actually care, because caring takes effort, and when, caring makes you tired, caring makes you angrier than you should be. So that's why I've chosen to remove myself from that. I think that's slothful, that's amoral, I could care, I should care from my position of privilege, but I've chosen not to because it makes me tired.
I mean, maybe, but like if that's sloth, then I'm worse than that. Like that sloth should be mine then, because like I am willfully, I'm all that and willfully ignorant.
Well, then you're fucking slothful and so prideful.
Yeah. Help me answer mine. All right, you're up.
Well, I didn't think about Wrathful, but what Jaden said about the gaming definitely resonates with me. I've broken a few mouses.
You see, this doesn't come through when we're playing games together. He's a very normal person when we play together.
Yeah, but like as soon as you go offline, I'm like, screaming at the screen.
Okay.
Bit of pride there.
Bit of pride. Yeah. But I definitely relate to sloth a little bit. I'm definitely a lazy bastard sometimes, but I think envy is probably my biggest. I just relate to not the desire for other people's material things, Shane, but like the desire to be someone else, I guess. I resonate with Tom Ripley because that's what he wants in life, to take someone else's place. So I was thinking, why do I resonate with him so much? Maybe it's because I have the same feelings that he does, but I'm not a sociopath, so I can't like go through with what he does, what he goes through. But
not yet.
But yeah, I think it's probably a mix of those three. The other ones are kind of here and there, I guess, but
yeah,
I think envy is probably the strongest.
You don't have to answer, but like, what is it like? Things like they're not material possessions.
No, not like how Jane talked about the records. No, okay. I don't care about that. I care about people's
status.
I care about people's like charisma. I wish I had, and like
I'm guilty of that as well. I just didn't want to mention that because I felt like that was too real.
There are no barriers here.
You should, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like other people's charm and stuff.
Well, that's
like other people's characteristics.
I feel a bit different to that as well, but like I think a more free life, perhaps, in that like I think the easiest example is just like, the only true freedom is monetary, like having like monetary value and like wealth. It's like envying that kind of lifestyle that you don't
Yeah, I mean,
need to be refined to a 9 to 5 is kind of like the one that I'm looking at.
Right. Yeah.
But I think
get
everyone kind of wants that as well is the other thing.
True.
So I think
Yeah.
Liam's is a bit different again.
yeah. No, yeah, I think everyone envies rich people to an extent, but I think mine's more like just, the ease that some people have,
Like
in
confidence.
their skin, Yeah,
Sure.
I guess so. Yeah.
But do you think that's kind of? I mean, everyone else makes it seem easy to be in their skin, but like it's not really.
My skin's great.
Prideful bastard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's good. How do I transition away from that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk about the virtues now.
Yeah.
The 7 virtues.
Are they 7 virtues?
I don't know. I just made that up. I think so.
What's your most virtuous quality? Your charity.
No, I didn't prepare for this one.
I'm charity.
I'm joking.
What?
I'm joking.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say I'm not charity.
No.
Yeah, no.
Least charitable person I know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How quick did I put my West Payne details in the... Anyway, all right. As always, we'd love to submit your responses, thoughts, and/or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section, Instagram comment section. Don't think anyone's ever done that.
DMs.
Oh, no, that's not true. Someone's done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instagram DMs, whatever, and or join the Discord server. Just do that. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is: what is the best instance of a character being played by multiple actors in the same movie?
Good question.
Great question. It was my idea, so it's good.
Hold on.
What? But yeah.
That's not your right. What?
Yeah.
No record to the contrary. Okay, I've got another segment, but now I feel like I've just introduced the question, so you got to tell us what we're doing next week.
We're doing I'm Not There. I'm Not Here, I'm Not There. I think that's the name of the movie.
You were never really there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Bob Dylan biography, kind of half biography, half fiction. 6 different actors play Bob Dylan, one of which is not like an accurate portrayal. But yeah, it's just a bit of a quirky biography movie about Bob Dylan. Good, one of the great.
Do I need to know anything about Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about his life. But
No.
I barely know who he is. I wouldn't know. I don't know if you showed me a photo of him, I don't know what he'd look like.
You know some of his songs. The times they are changing. You know
Oh, yeah.
The Watchman. So the Watchman.
Yeah.
He's a folk singer.
Okay.
So one of the biggest folk singers.
Yeah, just listen to all his albums, and you'll be in a good position.
Sure.
Yeah, B-sides, everything.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Live recordings.
Cool. I'm not doing that.
Actually, you've seen Inside Llewyn Davis. He was he
He was
wasn't
Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of like
He had a
He
cameo
was.
in that, remember?
it was in the movie?
Well, that was the kind of scene he was in, like that East Greenwich Village or whatever.
Bob
it
Dylan
is,
was
like
in that movie.
No, he wasn't in the movie, but remember they introduced him in that one scene as like a cameo.
What?
Don't worry about it. It was like a throwaway scene, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But he wasn't in the movie. Was he
His
played by someone
character
else?
was in his persona was in the movie for like a second.
Oh,
He's like, oh, hey, Bob Dylan's to the stage. Here's this random new guy,
oh,
in the
because the
same
film's
club
set
that-
in the past, right?
Oh, is Llewyn Davis a period piece?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally
Llewyn
forgot
Davis
that.
is in the same period that Bob Dylan's in. It's the exact same kind of scene and setting.
Got it. Totally
Yeah.
missed that. Okay, understood.
Mm.
Before we go, I've got a surprise segment. This could be terrible.
Oh, I was meant to do a surprise segment as well. I was meant to bring the trivia that you gifted me 2 years ago, and I was going to surprise you guys with it and be like, "Oh,
Did I give you
for
trivia?
200." Yeah,
Well, like movie trivia.
yeah, for birthday or Christmas or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, you should bring that to our next like New Year's or something, or next party or whatever.
If you want.
You should,
Okay.
because we played that guessing game, and
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't intend for us to play that. That was just like a backup. But,
Yeah. I'll never forget like pointing at the book. But anyway, all right. This is a quiz.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have botched these quizzes in the past, so I've kind of made it botch proof. It still might be bad. I don't know. But basically, it's a how well do you know each other quiz between
Oh,
you two.
Fuck that.
So,
Wait, what?
so I've got a series of questions. You can get your you can use your notepad if you like, or get your phone out, whatever. You have to write down your answer and what you think the other person's answer will be, and then you have to show at the same time.
What a week to bring the notepad in, huh?
Yeah, it's actually perfect. So yeah, you got to see how accurate you get,
Okay.
and then we'll reveal them at the same time.
Is it like movie related? Is it all movie related?
Yeah, we've done enough. Yeah, we've done enough personal shit today, I reckon.
Oh, it's gonna be like, what's your letterbox top 4?
Well, this first question might not be too far off. Sorry, I had a sneeze coming. All right, number
Bless
one.
you.
Thank you very much.
There
Wait,
you go.
let me put it in big text so I can
Notice how.
point at the camera. And
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh yeah,
prove that you
my
get it right.
handwriting is like small and atrocious, so the camera won't be reading any of it.
As far as long as we can see it, it's
Yeah.
fine. I'll narrate. Question number one: what is your favorite movie of all time?
Like Jaden's
Mine
favorite?
or his?
You have to write your answer and what you think his answer will be,
Alright.
Okay.
and compare.
So I'm writing my answer and what I think Jaden's answer is. Okay.
Yes. Some of these you might actually have to sort of half decide on the spot for yourself. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this is more or less my favorite movie.
Yeah, I'm worried about mine, but I think
I want to for me, I think this one's easy for you both. I want to see if I'm right in my mind.
Okay.
You know? All right, let's reveal.
Well,
To each other? Or?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
well, mine's first and yours is bastard.
What did I say? Oh yeah, okay. I should have. Little Women was a safer answer. I should have gone. I went for Upcoming Summer.
Okay, so you said Little Women's your favorite movie,
Yep,
and
and
he
I
said
said-
Upcoming Summer.
Yeah, and then I said that There Will Be Blood is his favorite movie, but he said Barry Lyndon is his favorite.
I just want everyone to know that I was right about both of you, just for the record.
Well, you probably looked at our fucking letterbox pages.
No, I know that Little Women and Barry Lyndon are your
okay.
favorite movies.
Well,
Unless-
There Will Be Blood still up there, isn't it? It's like still your second or third, right?
No, it doesn't, I don't think it's been up there for a while.
Hasn't it? Oh, fuck.
Jeez.
this is off to a bad start.
Yeah.
All
At least
right.
you got my second favorite.
Yeah.
I thought you moved that to favorite. I was like, you haven't moved it?
No, I haven't moved it. No.
Oh, okay.
Should we be writing down something for you as well?
No, it's a
No?
bit. I thought about it, but it's just a bit. It's a bit too complex. I think I still thought I'd simplify.
Okay.
Number two. What is your favorite genre?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. In reading this one might be a bit harder.
I'm not gonna go with drama. So I'm gonna do something that's not drama because
Okay,
drama's too
that
easy.
helps, yeah.
Yeah, I think we get rid of that.
I agree with that.
All right.
Oh, I'll write yours too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yours is probably easier.
Yeah, I think mine's a fucking giveaway. So but I think this one really sells you.
This is mine. This is
Yeah.
James.
Okay.
Can I see? Oh, use it hand. Yeah, that's good.
Well, I mean, we could just reveal it to each other then.
All right.
Mine's first again.
Okay, mine's thriller, horror. What do you?
Erotica.
Exotic. Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, your favorite genre is erotica.
No, my favorite's horror. I said his is erotica.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
because I just didn't know what to put. So
yeah.
That's
the
good,
Girlfriend
yeah.
Experience is one of my
Yeah,
favorite,
exactly.
one of my favorite films. And
Nymphomaniac.
PBT Chat. Yeah, Nymphomaniac Volume 1.
Hard Eight. Not Hard Eight. The other one. Boogie Nights.
Pretty nuts. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, of course, would have got horror for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, thriller. Yeah, that's good. It's more about like, as the person who critiques what genres are, probably should have chosen a different question for that.
Mm.
Because even I'm like, what's a thriller? Okay, this is a bit better. Who is the actor? Obviously, you have to pick one. Who is the actor you are most likely to watch a movie for just for them?
Is there a actress follow up or is this a gender neutral?
No, gender neutral. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think of yours too. That's
Yeah, I'm thinking. I love this. Is doing a great video. Just thinking fucking quiet. You need to fill airspace.
If people are still here,
Mm.
good for them.
my answer's probably not. I could probably think of something better, but more accurate. But
Okay.
No, I'm still thinking.
Oh,
for
I'm
his.
sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
I feel like this is pretty tough for him. No, this is terrible. Fucking god. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh shit. What was her name?
Oh, I think
that recent binge you went on.
I was thinking
What
the same.
was that recent binge you went on? Oh fuck.
Yeah, I was thinking the same dude.
Oh,
The same chick. I
right.
mean,
Oh fuck. What was her name?
that's a good shout. I probably should put that, but I didn't put her.
Yeah, but her anyway would have been my answer.
Okay, yeah, that's actually true because I did watch films just specifically for her.
Alright, I'll just write down her from binge.
I'll reveal. Hey, let's reveal this a bit better so it's a bit clearer. Your Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I said that chick from his binge. Who was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Parker Posey.
Parker Posey.
That's probably more
Yeah.
accurate.
Right, yours is
I said Jenna Coleman.
Jenna Coleman, and you said
Jenna
Olivia.
Coleman.
And you said Olivia Cook.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Then. Yeah.
Yeah.
because you watched that movie that everyone despises, the one with the set in the country or whatever with Olivia Cook.
What? Katie Says Goodbye.
Yeah, is that one? Yeah.
Nah, I've watched worse things for her. Like I watched like The Quiet Ones, which was a bad horror movie, and I think she's in
Well,
Ouija.
yeah.
I think I'll watch.
So it was
Yeah,
still a good answer.
It's a good answer. Yeah,
Okay.
but I'd go more out of my way to watch stuff from Jenna Coleman.
Gotcha. All right, 2 more. What is the best Christopher Nolan movie?
Like, what are our favorites?
What is the best Christopher Nolan movie?
I think.
You can take the question however you like.
What? So what he thinks? What?
What do you think is the best Christopher Nolan movie, and what do you think he'll answer that? His answer will be for that question.
Oh,
I thought favorite's a bit too easy because then you
Yeah,
can like
sure.
just remember scores on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Well, mine's okay.
what did you say?
I said yours is
Dunkirk.
Oppenheimer, and mine's like my favorite is what I think is his best. Like I think Dunkirk is like the best example of his work. Just everything like he does in terms of time, place, character, and all that. Like I do believe that.
Sure, but
I
you thought it was going to be Interstellar,
Yeah, I thought you'd go for Interstellar for sure.
and you thought he was going to say Oppenheimer, but he said Inception.
Yeah, Inception's an interesting one from you, I think.
Well, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite, but
Mm-mm.
I'd also say it's his best. I don't know.
Interesting.
Most solid, I guess.
I feel like Interstellar.
Well, yours is The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and Tenet.
Mm.
But you wouldn't say that that's like one of his best.
No, I think his best 3 films are The Dark Knight, Interstellar, and Oppenheimer. I could pick any of those as the best. Like Academy, like any of those 3, I think are Best Picture winners. Well, one of them literally is, but you know. Okay, last one. Who would you most want to interview on Cinema Effect?
Alive? Have to be alive.
Yeah, Elliot Smith.
Yeah, I'll say alive. Yeah. I didn't think of that, but yeah.
Ugh.
Well, who I want and who I want for the show are different things. So is it for the Cinema Effect? You know,
What do you mean? What?
like who I would like to interview and who I want to interview that I think would be great for the show are different. You know,
How so?
well, because like you know, like I think like you know, there's certain conversations, certain rapports that will be built are better for the camera. You know,
Versus what?
as in like just bring in like my favorite actor and just gushing. You know,
Hang on. But is the difference that we're here or not? What's the difference?
no, as in like the difference would just be like the quality of the person in the format. You know?
Oh.
It's like who do you most want to talk to versus who is most like broadcastable, kind of.
Oh.
Mm.
No, I'm not thinking about yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mm.
I mean, you can interpret it however you like. I didn't interpret it as like what's best for the podcast. I just interpret it as
Like
Who do
you would
want
do it on the
most?
podcast, but who do you want?
who do you want most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You won't get my answer.
Well, it's not going to be PTA.
Uh,
Now it is.
maybe it should be.
I keep trying to place my jug down quietly so it doesn't make a noise, but then like there's probably like tons of other stuff
Yeah,
that
I
are
mean, the
making more
fucking
noises.
seat. And the, yeah, that's...
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a fruitless effort on my part.
Who do you want to speak to? That's not PTA.
It's not a director.
It's not a
It's an
director.
actor.
All right, it's gonna be Park President.
No.
All right. I don't think this is right, but it'll do it. Okay, I said Daniel Day-Lewis for you.
Oh, who'd you say for you?
I said Nick Cave, and I think he does
Oh,
apply since he
okay.
does make movies as well. So
True. I would choose Sam Rockwell just because he's a great guest. Like everything he's guested in has been really good, and he's just a charismatic individual. I thought you'd choose Tom Hardy because I don't know. I was trying to think of Nolan actors.
Would you want to interview Tom Hardy?
I think definitely. I think it'd be a fun interview. Yeah, for sure.
I'd be a bit scared of him.
No, because sometimes he drops bombs like, "I'm an actor, of course. I've had gay sex." So like, you know, we could get like something. We could get like a
We could
similar
blow
bomb
up.
out of him. Yeah.
That's like
Mm.
that's when you're thinking about like, you know, performance of the show,
Yeah.
us going viral.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
No, but you know, like with this kind of goes back to the question about who do you most want to talk to in the world, and I mean Nick Cave, he operates in a film space and scores and writing and stuff. So
True, it would be very relevant.
I think it applies, and you know why not?
Yeah, maybe he can guest on our Jesse James episode.
Perhaps. I mean, he just left Australia now, so you know, a bit
Oh, yeah.
late.
Oh well, you know, there's Zencaster, the power of
Yeah,
Zencaster.
there's Zencaster.
Feel a
yeah.
sense of Zen.
We'll get Nick Cave to fucking operate Zencaster.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's it. Was that all right?
Yeah, this was pretty fun. Yeah,
It's decent.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know how it plays on camera.
Neither do I.
Yeah, we should have had time limit, to be honest.
Oh no, it wasn't that bad.
No, okay.
No, you need. No, it was fine. All right, but yeah, that's it for this week's episode. We already did next week's movie. Go and watch it.
It's on Stan.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, watch it on Stan. There you go. Yeah, 200 of these.
How many years is it? 4 years? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 2020.
Started. Yeah.
March 2020.
Never forget March 2020, and you came on episode 3, Phantom Thread.
Yep. Banger of an episode.
You reckon?
No. Banger of a movie, though.
Oh yeah. All right, that's it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you guys for coming and joining me. It was fun.
It's alright.
Now we can leave. Well, we got to pack up, but you know,
Yeah.
it's fine. All right. See you all later, and goodbye.